Welcome to Outrage Overload, a science podcast about outrage and lowering the temperature. Look around. War in Ukraine, war in Gaza, and now, as of this recording, war with Iran. Tariffs, economic uncertainty, AI disruptions. People are afraid. It's not unreasonable to be afraid. And some people are angry too. It's one outrage after another. Before we can process one, another one hits us. The media never stops. The feeds never stop. It's not just outrage overload, it's outrage fatigue. Why are we doing this series? Why are we interrupting our show with it? That's why. Look around. Outrage on the Mic isn't just about the media or podcasting. It's about how we survive emotionally in a world that's designed to keep us in fight or flight. And as someone who's been creating in this space and wrestling with these questions, I wanted to talk with others who are trying to do it differently. In a media ecosystem that rewards rage, is it possible to build something different, something meaningful? I'm David Beckmeyer, and this is Outrage Overload. Today is the final chapter in our Outrage on the Mic series, what it means to turn down the heat when the world is on fire. Before there was YouTube rage bait and Twitter flame wars, there was Father Coughlin.
The Jew has challenged the Christian for his sympathy and cooperation. In turn, the Christian challenges the Jew for his.
In the 1930s, his sermons reached tens of millions, stoking economic fear and anti-Semitic conspiracies, delivered with righteous fire through a crackling AM signal. Toward the end of his run, many people said they thought he was basically a clown, but they listened anyway because it was entertaining to see what he might say next. Fast forward to the 1980s, and people were saying similar things about Howard Stern. Rush Limbaugh set the prototype for a wave of right-wing talk radio in the 1990s. Insult, provoke, repeat. Then came Alex Jones, turning the outrage dial to 11 with conspiracy as entertainment. But it's not just the right. Today, many progressive podcasters and political commentators have their own version of this playbook. It's not bombastic yelling, but it's still outrage. Emotional narratives, alarming news items, high-stakes rhetoric. You won't hear shouting on Pod Save America or from Heather Cox Richardson, but you will hear a consistent message. Be afraid, be angry, the other side is dangerous. Whether it's red-faced fury or calm-voiced dread, outrage is still the strategy. But what if you decide not to play? In podcasting, like other media, rage drives clicks, engagement, growth. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's strategic. Here's Ross Yerger, host of a daily show called Up the Middle.
Every episode is pretty much somebody from the opposing side. And it's like they need to bring in NHL linesmen to keep them separated, because they're really strongly at each other. And it's to a point now where PBT, as he calls it, the guest knows, okay, I got to bring my notes and my boxing gloves because this is going to be a rough day.
It's not just about who yells loudest, it's about how you frame the story. Even when it's calm, it can be weaponized. Here's some clips from the Rachel Maddow show. It starts with some snark and humiliation.
Where do you want to start today? Settle in. It's a doozy. The whole time, in real time, concurrently giving testimony to Mueller's office about what was going on inside the Trump White House while he was working as White House counsel. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that they did that. Their explanation to the New York Times was that, quote, Mueller snookered Mr. Trump's legal team. They snookered us. Egads. Tarnation.
But also high-stakes framing.
Whether or not the Russians were able to gain the cooperation of those people while they were attacking our election. That's it, right? And that question, while Russia was attacking our election, did they have help from the campaign they were assisting? That remains the biggest foreign influence national security scandal to ever afflict any American presidency. This is an attempted authoritarian overthrow of the United States Constitution and the U.S. government, the attempted imposition of a dictatorial regime. The strength of the movement against him is what will determine our fate as a country.
The tone is polished, but the emotional cues are clear. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is terrifying. It's moral urgency weaponized. Here's Cameron Cohen of the Cameron Journal.
I've always joked for years and years and years I would be 10 times more popular if I engaged in leftist, because I'm a Democrat, I do the leftist side. So if I engage in more leftist rage sort of thing, like some of my colleagues, if I did that, I'd be 10 times as popular. But that's not my style. I actually do real old-fashioned journalism here, which is not often the case anymore. I've never been tempted because it's not really who I am, and it's hard for me to not be me. So I never felt tempted, but I definitely have felt pressure, and it really is tough for me to watch other shows that in my mind offer less get more popular because all it does is engage that primal outrage sort of thing.
Rage works. It gives people a place to put their fear. It says, you're right to be angry. And as a creator, it's almost too easy. Because anger spreads faster than understanding, and algorithms don't reward complexity. Outrage isn't just effective, it's addictive. For creators, for audiences, for algorithms. Here's Dave Campbell, host of 9 different podcasts, one of which is called the How to Podcast series.
And there's like recreational outrage. It's like a hobby for people just to get out there and create this kind of narrative that, I am this way and this is how I show up in the world, and I'm going to just be the instigator in my community and in my world. There's been radio hosts in the past, that's been their spiel. That's been their the way they show up on the mic. They want to be so far to one direction that they purposely get people upset. And that's where they live.
Here's Yvette with the Tweet Trends podcast.
I just had to join in on this conversation because it is mind-blowing that people are putting crazy stuff out there just to get people to listen to their show. If it takes me doing crazy stuff to get you to listen, I'm going to have to continue to do crazy stuff and ramp it up to get you to keep listening. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I hang out in a lot of political forums. And one thing I see over and over is people asking, what should I listen to? What are your go-to political shows? And the answers are predictable. If they're left-leaning, they're tuning into Heather Cox Richardson, Rachel Maddow, Pod Save America, Jon Stewart. And I get it. I really do. Sometimes you just want to hear someone smart and eloquent put into words what you already feel. It's comforting. It's validating. It makes you feel sane in a world that often doesn't. And I'm not here to say you shouldn't listen to Maddow or Midas Touch or even Ben Shapiro or whoever it is that resonates with you. But I do think we owe it to ourselves to go in with open eyes. Because even when it feels calm or reasonable, a lot of that content is still part of the outrage machine. It's still designed to rile us up, to make the other side look cartoonishly evil or stupid. And when we agree with the content, we don't tend to question it. In fact, we don't even see it happening because it just makes sense to us. We turn off our critical filters. But that doesn't mean it's giving us a fuller or more truthful picture of the world. Rage sells, but we don't have to buy it. That's really what this podcast is ultimately about. Not just calling out the firebrands on the right, but also noticing how the left does it too, in their own way. Not with shouting, but with fear, with narrative. With stakes so high you feel like if you look away, you're complicit. It's easy to get pulled into that. I feel it myself. Every day. But here, I'm trying to make space for something else. Something messier, slower, more human. So if you're starting to feel the fatigue, if you're noticing that you're always just a little tense, a little angry, a little more sure that they are the problem, maybe that's a signal. Maybe that's where a show like this comes in. I'm not promising to change your mind. I'm not here to sell answers. What we're trying to do, is hold space for the complexity that usually gets flattened by, well, quite honestly, basically every political commentary show, even many in the academic realm. This podcast is about nuance. It's about sitting in the gray when the world wants us in black and white. And maybe that's not as exciting. But if you're listening here, I think you might be looking for something different too. So thanks for being here. I'm David Beckmeyer, and this has been Outrage Overload.
So build the show that you would listen to, build the community that you would want to be a part of. And the people who find you will love what you do, and they'll stay with you, instead of trying to build something that's trendy or, that's going after an audience that you don't understand. Build what you know, and your people will find you and they'll just stay, because there's something about you as the creator or your content that resonates with them. And that's the people that you want in your world. So just focus on what you know and what you would participate in and use as a listener as well.
If your worldwide reach is 100 people, serve that 100 to the best of your ability. Put out good information, help those people. And guess what's going to happen? Your show's going to grow. Why? Because you're helping people and the word is going to spread.
The one thing I would encourage anybody that's ever thinking about content creation, podcasting, all that stuff, be true to yourself, be true to your message, be true to what you believe, and don't become somebody else, because it's hard to keep up over time. It's a facade. It's not really you, and you're acting. I do like somebody who shows up and creates the show that resonates with them as a creator, because it's authentic, it's real, it's you. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to remember what you said last week, because it's just you every time that you show up.
That is it for this episode of the Outrage Overload podcast. For links to everything we talked about on this episode, go to outrageoverload.net. Want to dive deeper? Check out my Substack at outrageoverload.substack.com or outrageoverload.net/newsletter for more insights beyond the podcast. Subscribe, comment, and join the conversation. If you found this episode valuable, please share it or leave a review. It really helps. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.